Jai Radha Madhav Gopi Jana Vallabha Yashodanandana Brajaganandana Yamuna Tiravanachari Jai Radha Madhav Gopi Jana Vallabha Hare Krishna 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 Hare Rama 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare Rama Rama Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chaksurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Taptakanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So Hare Krishna devotees. So Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Kirtida Mataji and Trishul Prabhu, Roddy Prabhu and
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam.
Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Roddy Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you. Also,
Krishna Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna Sita Anandani Mataji, and of course Nand Vraj Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam once again. And KD, I don't know, then so doesn't give the name, but thank you for joining us. Hare Krishna. And also Ashoka Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, thank you for joining us. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam.
Pranam Mataji, Hare Krishna. So thank you all the devotees once again. So we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam. This is the fourth canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, and text number 55 and chapter number 7. So 4, 7, 55, and the title of this chapter is The Sacrifice Performed by Daksha. So we'll look at the verse. So before that, we'll recite a small prayer. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Text number 55. Maitreya Uvacha. Evam Bhagavata Evam Bhagavata Prajapati Patir Harim Prajapati Patir Harim Architva Kratuna Swena Devan Ubhayo Yujat. Devan Ubhayato Yajat. So the whole verse now. Maitreya Uvacha Evam Bhagavata Dishtaha Prajapati Patir Harim Architva Kratuna Svena Devan Ubhayato Yajat. Maitreya Uvacha Evam Bhagavata Dishtaha Prajapati Patir Harim Architva Kratuna Svena Devan Ubhayato Yajat. Maitreya Uvacha Evam Bhagavata Dishtaha Prajapati Patir Harim Architva Kratuna Svena Devan Ubhayato Yajat. So you can recite this verse. Hare Krishna, Avas Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Can I read out?
Yeah. Hare Krishna Maha Vidya Das Prabhu. Dandavat Pranam. Hare Krishna. Thank you for joining.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yes.
Maitreya Uvacha Evam Bhagavata Adishta Prajapati Patir Harim Architva Pratama Shena Devan Ubhayata Yajat. Hare Krishna.
Can I try, Prabhuji?
Yes, Sushudha Mataji.
Maitreya Uvacha Evam Bhagavata Adishta Prajapati Patir Harim Architva Kratuna Svena Devanubhayata Yajat. Hare Krishna.
Can I try, Prabhu, please?
Sita Anandani Mataji. Yes.
Maitreya Uvacha Evam Bhagavata Adishta Prajapati Patir Harim Architva Kratuna Shena Devan Ubhayato Yajat.
Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, I will try.
Yes, Ashoka Mataji.
Maitre uvacha evam bhagvat adhishta prajapati patir harim architva kratuna sven devanu bhayato ayajatah.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Mataji.
I'll try, Prabhu.
Yes, Kirtana Mataji.
Maitreya Vacha Evam Bhagavata Dishtva Prajapati Patir Hari Achitva Kratuna Sevena Deva Ubhyato Yajata.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
May I try, Prabhuji?
Ready, Prabhu, please.
Maitreya Uvacha Evam Bhagavata Dishta Prajapati Patir Harim Architva Kratunasvana Devan Uvayato Jajat.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Thank you. Hare Krishna. So we have anyone else who wants to try? Okay, so we look at the word by word meaning. Maitreya Uvacha said, Evam, thus, Bhagavata, by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Adishtaha, having been instructed, Prajapati Patihi, the head of all the Prajapatis, Harim, Hari, Architva, after worshipping, Kratuna, with sacrificial ceremonies, Swena, his own, Devan, the demigods, Ubhayataha, separately, Ayajat, worshipped. Now translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So now someone can read the translation and then someone can read the purport as well. So someone who wants to read the translation.
I'll try, Prabhu.
Yes, Kirtana Mataji.
The sage Maitreya said, thus Daksha, the head of all Prajapatis, have been nicely instructed by the Supreme Lord of God, head
worshipped Lord Vishnu. After worshipping him by performing the prescribed sacrificial ceremonies, Daksha separately worshipped Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva.
Thank you, Mataji. Anyone wants to read the purport?
Can I try?
Yes, Sita Nandini Mataji. Yes.
Lord Vishnu should be offered everything, and his prasad should be distributed to all the demigods. This practice is still followed in the temple of Jagannath at Puri. There are many temples of demigods around the main temple of Jagannath, and the prasada which is offered first to Jagannath is distributed to all the demigods. The deity of Vagalin is worshipped with the prasada of Vishnu, and also in the famous Lord Shiva temple of Bhubaneswar, the prasada of Lord Vishnu or Lord Jagannath is offered to the deity of Lord Shiva. This is the Vaishnava principle. The Vaishnava does not deride of an ordinary living entities, including the small ant. Everyone is offered proper respect according to his position. The offering, however, is in relation to the center, the supreme personality of Godhead, Krishna or Vishnu. The devotee who is highly elevated sees the relationship to Krishna in everything. He does not see anything as being independent of Krishna. That is his vision of oneness.
Thank you, Mataji. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Madhav Govind Goswami Niti Namini Namaste Prabhupada Devam Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Gram Janani Stharini Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namini Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschata Deshatarini Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. So thank you once again, devotees. So this is a very nice verse. So Maitreya Uvacha. So Maitreya is speaking to whom?
Vidur?
Yeah, correct. Vidur. So Vidur, we know Vidur did not stay in Hastinapur during the battle of Kurukshetra. He had left, because just before the battle had begun, when Duryodhan had insulted Lord Krishna, he couldn't tolerate that. He had been tolerating all the insults to himself, but when Lord Krishna was insulted, he couldn't tolerate that, and he left Hastinapur and he went to different places of pilgrimage for Tirath Yatra. And we know that Vidur meets Maitreya Muni, and Maitreya Muni is very, very special because Maitreya Muni had received instructions from two great personalities. So one is who?
Lord Krishna himself.
Lord Krishna himself, because when Lord Krishna was leaving, when Lord Krishna was departing, the two people who were with Lord Krishna were
Uddhava.
Huh?
One is
Uddhava.
Uddhava.
One is Uddhava and the other one is Maitreya Muni, correct. And we know that Maitreya Muni is also a disciple of who? Do you know who Maitreya Muni is a disciple of? Does anyone? So Maitreya Muni, we know that Bhagavatam was given by Lord Shankarshan as well. Lord Shankarshan and Lord Shankarshan. Who had the Bhagavatam from Lord Shankarshan? The four
Kumaras.
The four Kumaras. So four Kumaras got Bhagavatam had Bhagavatam from Lord Shankarshan. And then these four Kumaras had a Sishya, a disciple, whose name was?
Maitreya?
No. Anyone? Sankyayan Muni. Sankyayan Muni was a disciple of the four Kumaras. And then Sankyayan Muni had two great disciples. One is
Maitremani.
one is one is Brihaspati, and Brihaspati becomes the spiritual master of
The Devatas.
Devatas, gods.
yes, and the other disciple of Sankhya and Muni was Parasar Muni. Parasar Muni. Parasar Muni. And Parasar Muni is who? Who is the
Vedavyas, father of Vedavyas.
father of Vedvyas? So father of Vedvyas. So Parasar Muni's disciple is Maitri Muni. So he's blessed by two great personalities. Of course, Lord Krishna. He got association from Lord Krishna before Lord Krishna left, before Lord Krishna departed. And he also was the disciple of Parasar, who is the father of Vedvyas. So Maitreya Muni is speaking to Vidura. So we know this whole katha is recited by Maitreya Muni. And Maitreya Muni is saying here, Maitreya Muni said, Maitreya Uvacha, Evam Bhagavata Dishta, Evam, thus Bhagavata Adishta. So instructed by Lord
Vishnu.
Bhagavata, Lord Vishnu. We know the Lord always gives wonderful instructions. Now there's so many verses given by the Lord, and we always read those verses. And even when we do the Bhagavatam classes, we always quote those verses. From which scripture? Instructions of the Lord.
Gita.
Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita. This is Bhagavata Adishta. So Bhagavad Gita, because that means the song of the
gods. God. Yeah.
Yeah, song of the Lord. So Bhagavad Gita. Gita means song of the Lord. So that's instructions of the Lord. And now we just had this great festival, Gaur Purnima. And then also we had been looking at some of the instructions of the Lord. The 8 main instructions are called
Shikshastakam.
Shikshashtaka. So those are wonderful instructions given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Of course, he gave a lot of instructions to so many devotees, to Nityananda Prabhu, to so many other great devotees. We see that those are found in Chaitanya Charitamrita and also Chaitanya Bhagavat, even to Raghunath Das Goswami on the renounced order. So all those wonderful instructions are given. So Lord is always giving instructions, and some instructions are to do certain things that we do, and there are certain things that
we should not do.
We should not do. Do's and do nots, and some of them are just wonderful, just some good advice. So all of those things.
Nectar of instructions.
Yeah. So nectar of instruction. So there's so many wonderful instructions are found in the scriptures. So here, Bhagavata Adishta, he having been instructed. So in 5 verses, we know that first, all of them, when Lord appeared in this yajna, all the devatas and different classes of people, they offered prayers to the Lord. They offered prayers to the Lord. And the first one to start was Daksha. Who was the first one? The one, because of him, all these things happened. And that was Daksha. So Daksha started offering prayers to the Lord. And now everyone has finished with the prayers. The last ones were the personified Vedas. They all finished their prayers, the offering to the Lord, offering nice, beautiful prayers, very nice prayers. And now Maitreya, and then after that, Lord speaks 5 verses, very neat, beautiful verses, which I'm sure the previous speakers have discussed. And now Maitreya is saying, after being instructed by the Lord Adishta, then Prajapati Patir. Who is this Prajapati Patir?
Daksha.
Prajapati Patir.
He is the poti of all the Prajapati.
Prajapati, head of Prajapati.
He is the head of the Prajapati. That's why he became.
Prajapati poti.
No, that's why he became very, very
Skill,
Proud. He became very
Proud.
proud.
skillful.
Yes, of course, Daksh means he's an expert, but he's expert at creating progeny. So
Yeah.
yeah, so he's a Daksha expert. So yes, the Prajapati. Praja means
The citizens.
yes, it's correct. Praja, and that includes the animals, plants,
All living beings. All
all
living.
living beings. We know that all the government arranges for the the food and everything for the citizens of the country, like only human citizens mostly. But how about the animals? Who's looking after the animals? Who's supplying all the grass?
The Lord.
Yeah, every plant. Sometimes the plants look like some weed or something, but everything has been created for a purpose or not.
Yes.
And then they have to be looked after as well. All the plants and the rain has to be there at the right time. They've done research. They've done like research too. They've done some research near like trees, mango trees, a lot of mango trees. And there were a lot of weed, so-called weed. We call that weed. And they tried to see if the weed, because most of the farmers, what do they do?
Take out the weeds.
They will pull out all the weeds. So they tried a place where there were weeds, many different kinds of weeds. So some flowers and different things, different kinds of. And they tried another place, the production, the fruits, the number of fruits in a tree. So they tried a place where there were mango trees plus the different kinds of weeds. And they tried another place where all the weeds had been removed. They tried to check the production of mangoes. Where do you think the mango production was higher?
The weeds.
Weeds. Why do you think it's higher?
Let's say help one another. Right?
Yes, bro?
They are mutually cooperative.
Yes?
They are mutually cooperative. They help each other.
How do the weeds help the plants?
Nutrients exchange through the root system, perhaps?
Yeah, exchange was that's very nice. Through the root system, the exchange through the root system, and also through attracting more bees. You know what the big farmers do nowadays? When they have like big farms, sometimes they don't have enough bees, so they have to hire people who will take the truck full of bees. Do you know that? They will take into big farms.
Yes. To pollinate. To pollinate the plant.
And then they'll release all the bees there. And then that's when they get paid for that. Big bee farmers, they'll take their bee trucks, and then so that there is greater pollination. And greater pollination means greater production of
fruits.
Fruit. So naturally, those kind of environments, like with those kind of special kinds of weeds, there will be the bees and all these insects which do the pollination. They get attracted to those places, and these products higher production, much higher, significant percentage higher. So we can see that sometimes we think that these things are useless. So because once I think one of the devotees, one very senior Vaishnava in our society, and Prabhu was saying, looked at the wheat and said to Prabhu, some plant, and he said, sir, oh, there's some insignificant plant. Prabhu said, no. Prabhupada said, no, that's not an insignificant plant. Krishna, the creator, is not and intelligent. He knows what to create, what not to create. You are insignificant, not that part. So the thing is, everything has been created for a
Reason.
Purpose.
purpose. So those different things. So who's looking after all the people, all the animals, all the trees, all the birds? Who's feeding the birds? Who's looking after the birds?
Lord.
The Lord. So there is so many people required, and they are called the progenitors or prajapatis, or like there are different kinds of people in looking after this whole universe. We know that even the Lord has created so many beautiful things, and even this beautiful human body. If we say that some medical science can do anything and everything, now we can see how medical science is struggling with this little virus. For
Corona.
2 years, they are just so bewildered. Isn't it true?
Yes.
How of course we don't reject science, we do accept, but we know that there is a supreme scientist whose name is
Lord Krishna.
Krishna. He knows everything, and how with such a beautiful body that has been created, and anatomy that is described always describing different parts of the body. Last year in December, there's one article in the journal. They said there's they said a new part has been discovered. Do you think it's a new part?
No.
No.
It is a part that is existing, but they only found it. Isn't it true?
Yes.
They only found that part, which was always existing. So that part, and that part, they say, is a very critical part for the digestion, because it lifts the jaw, lower jaw, and that helps with the digestion is found there on the side. Such an important part, and they discovered it only last year. Can you believe it? Isn't it important that chewing part is so important, the food is so important, and people pay so much attention to food? But that part only was discovered recently, and that part was published only last year, in 2021. So there is the creation, and there are people who need to look after the creation. There's the progenitors, and this is who's this Prajapati, and his name is Daksha. He became the patir of the Prajapatis. He became the
Pati.
of the Prajapatis. So he became the head of the Prajapatis, or the Lord of the Prajapatis. Lord of the
Prajapati.
Prajapatis. And so there was one, like one riddle they asked, like to this children, they have, what do you call this, riddles or bojoni, or have you heard of these things?
Yes.
Yeah. So there was one question. All the which pati, which pati is not the husband of, who is not a husband of a patni? Which pati is not a husband of a
Patini.
patni? So I mean, just like in English I'm saying it. So कौन पति है जिस जो पत्नी का पति नहीं है, something like
Butterfly.
that.
Butterfly Prajapati.
No, the answer is Rashtrapati. किसका पति है?
Rashtrapati, yes.
राष्ट्र का पति है। कौन पति किसी पत्नी का पति नहीं है, और कौन पति है वो?
Rashtrapati.
और राष्ट्र का पति है. So there is a Rashtrapati, or Rashtrapati means what do you call in English? Rashtrapati.
President.
President. Yeah. So Prajapati Patir Hari, Prajapati Pati. So Pati means the Lord. So Lord of the Prajapati, so Daksh. So he instructed, after being instructed, who was instructed? This Prajapati Pati, who is Daksha. Who is this Bhagavata? Is Hari. Hari. Not everyone can be. Here it's not very clear because at that point everyone is there. Lord Brahma is there. Lord Shiva is there, and all the other devatas. So the Hari is Bhagavata, advised by whom, instructed by whom? By Hari, Lord Hari, of the Lord Vishnu. Architva Kratunasvena. Architva, now what he did was he worshipped Architva, Archanam, you know the what comes, Archanam. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Pada Sevanam. Then Archanam.
Vandanam, Dasham.
Dasam Sakam Atmani Vedanam.
So Archana means worshiping. So how was he worshipped? Kratunasvena, some with the sacrificial ceremonies, which are different kinds of ceremonies for different kinds of worship. So he performed the worship of the Lord this way. Now, one thing is that we need to remember that Daksh here is, Daksh has got the head of a
Goat.
So he has got a head of a goat. He doesn't have this human head, but he has got the head of a goat. And with this head, he is offering prayers, and the Lord is discussing with him. This dog, we know that many examples in the scriptures where people have lost their head, and this by Vedic surgical techniques, not the medical current modern techniques, but with the Vedic science, the head was big, they could put the head back. Isn't it true?
Yes.
Many examples there.
Lord Ganesh.
Yeah, so yes, that's one of them.
Dodichi Mone, Dodichi.
Dadichi is another example.
That was by the Ashwini Kumar's.
Dadichi Muni's head was actually, he got the animal head, but then he got back the human head. So first time he lost the head, and then he had been given the head of a horse, because who chopped the head?
Indra.
Lord Indra chopped the head of Dadichi Muni because he was envious. He did not want him to get Brahma Vidya. And who was going to, Dadichi was going to teach Brahma Vidya to?
Ashwini Kumar's.
So he did not want Ashwini Kumaras to be taught Brahma Vidya, so he chopped his head off. And he warned him. And of course, he had promised to give them Brahma Vidya, and then still, he had promised, and so he wanted to give them. And then what happened is he was giving, and before he gave them, he knew that the head will be chopped. Like Ashwini Kumaras knew that, so he just chopped his original head and put the head of the horse. And then when Indra chopped the head of the horse head of the Dadichi Muni, then he put the original head. Then put
Dadichi Muni's body.
That's why that Vidya that Dadichi Muni gave with the head of a horse is known as
Ashwashira.
Ashwashira Vidya. Ashwashira Vidya, correct. Ashwashira with Ashwa head. The Vidya that was given with Ashwa head. Ashwa means horse, like Ashwa Medya. Ashwa Shira. Shira means head. So that Vidya is given known as Ashwashira Vidya. And then we know that Lord Indra comes and says, oh, now you have taken the head of the horse and you are giving the Vidya. And then he chopped the head and he took the head because he thought that now he will put the Ashwini Kumars will put the head back. And then what did he do? What did they do? They put the
They reinstated the original head
back. So his head is chopped. And so once, and then twice, and then twice. So first time he has the head of course he had to lay down Now this time he lost the head, then later on he lost his whole body for the benefit of the
Devatas.
devatas. And then he, of course, for the bones were going to be used for the weapon of that person who was initially chopping his head off, who had chopped his head off. So now he got the head back. We know that, and so that's one example where we can see how advanced our Vedic science is. Vedic, but of course, not everyone knows this science, but it is there. So that's another example. So Ganesh is one example, and this Dadichi Muni is another example. And can you think of other examples? Another example.
Jamagdini's wife, Parshuram's mother.
Correct, yeah. Lord Jamdagni asked Lord Parshuram to chop the
Mother's head.
Yeah, because no, not only the mother's head, also his brothers, because we know that the mother had been seeing this Chitrarat and was a bit late in coming back home, and then Jamdagni found that through his meditation what she was doing, why she was late, and then asked all the sons to chop the head off
his mother.
No one agreed to do that. Who will want to chop the head of the mother? But when when the youngest son, Lord Parshuram, came, then he asked. The father gave him the instruction, and then what did he do?
He obliged it by cutting the head of his mother.
But why did he do? Why did he chop the head?
Because he had the confidence that the father will be able to reinstate him.
Yeah, because he had the confidence in there, and he knew that the father is not ordinary father. If he wants him to chop the head, and he can chop the head, then he knows that he can put the head back. He knew that the father is capable of doing that. And then now what did he do? He just
Chop the head.
Chop all the heads off, and then the father was so pleased and he asked for a benediction. And then what benediction did he ask for?
To replace the head again.
Said my mother should get the head back, and my brothers should get the head back.
There should not be any sign that it was beheaded, and also they should not have the memory that what was done.
Yeah. Number one is heads back. Put the heads back. Number two is they shouldn't even remember that that Parshuram chopped the head. Number three, there should not be any marks that there was a head chop. Can the medical science do that?
No.
Putting the head or some surgery without cutting and everything, and then no mark at all. But that's how perfect this medical spiritual science is, this Vedic science is. So yes, that's another example where we can see that. So, but the thing is, we can see that Dadichi Muni, even though he had a different head, or here Daksha having different head, the head that is the same person, but only the consciousness is different, but the head is the same. Isn't it true? I mean, the consciousness is the same. He's still Daksha here, although he's has got a head of a goat. Goat is also known. There's another story in which the goats, which story where he goat and she goat. Who's talking about this?
Ayati Muni.
Yeah, Yati Maharaj. Talking to the wife. What's the name of the wife? Devyani, saying talking to the Devyani that there was one he goat, one she goat, and actually he was telling which story? His own story, and then he was because the he goat is very expert in pleasing the she goat. We know that he goat will be going to the she goat, and that kind of goat mentality that he had, he's explaining about that. So here, this person is also because they're quite lusty. So here this person also got this kind of head, this daksha, and he has got the head now still of the goat, and then he is Prajapati Pati. He's the head of all the Prajapatis. After being instructed by Hari, worshipped the Lord Architva, Kratuna Svena, with different kinds of sacrificial ceremonies or worship for different. Devan, and after that, Devan Ubhayatav Yajat. And then after that, what did he do? Devan Ubhayo Senayor Ubhayor Madhye. Tapayitva Ratotamam Senayor Ubhayor Madhye. Ratham Stapayamechyuta. Ubhayo means
Separately?
Both. Here it means or separately for each one of them.
Both. Who are them? Who are those both? Two.
Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma.
Yeah. Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva. So we can see here that Lord Brahma is there, Lord Shiva is there, and Lord Vishnu is there. And when it comes to worshipping here, we can see that who is worshipped first?
Lord Vishnu.
Lord Vishnu. So in the society, when all of them are present and Lord Vishnu is present, then who is worshipped first?
Lord Vishnu.
Lord Vishnu. When we can see that in the assembly of who?
Yudhishthira.
Yudhishthir. Yudhishthir was performing this. Which yajna he was performing?
Rajasuya Yajna.
Yeah, Rajasuya Yajna. Yudhishthir was performing Rajasuya Yajna. And at that time, all the great people, all the devatas, all of them were assembled there. Even Vyasdev was there, and all the great sages, everyone was there, and all the devatas. But when it came to doing the Agra Puja, when it came to who is to be worshipped first, it was
Lord Krishna.
Lord Krishna.
Lord Krishna was offered the first of puja. And then who is also worshipped next? The others. Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva. They are worshipped after the Lord is worshipped. And we know that they are all, everyone is part and parcel of the Lord. So as parts and parcels, they are same in quality. They're all, everyone is same in
quality.
Quality.
But not in quantity.
Yes.
Not-
Satchitananda.
the one is part and parcel, the one is whole. So they're same in quality, but difference in quantity.
Quantity.
It's like a drop of blood is the same in quality to the
All of the blood in the body.
found in the whole body. When the doctors do the testing, like some little sample, they're like checking diabetes or something, the sugar level. What do? Do they take the whole blood out from the body?
A drop, not a
Little bit. Drop
Only
of.
a drop of blood, and that has the same quality as the blood in the whole body. Isn't it true?
Yes.
And they can find out what is the nature of that blood, what it contains, what it doesn't contain. So just a little bit of the blood that tells us about the nature of the whole blood in the body. Similarly, the little drop of ocean of seawater
Seawater, yeah.
and the whole ocean, same quality,
Quality.
but difference in quantity.
Quantity.
We can't say that the drop will do the function of, in a drop of water, we can't say that all the big sharks will live. But in the big ocean, big sharks, blue whale, and all the different animals can live in that big ocean. So quantity-wise, it's different, but quality-wise.
Same.
So similarly, the Lord, we know that different, like Brahmaji also, or Lord Shiva. Of course, the original Lord Shiva, the Sadashiva is the original Shiva, or the same as Vishnu Tattva. And Lord Brahma is also, of course, even we devotees know the position of all these great personalities. That Lord Brahma is, we have all these 64 qualities which are found only in one personality, and that is called
Lord Krishna.
Lord Krishna, all the 64. And then there is Lord Shiva, who who is the next one who can go up to
60.
55.
55. Lord Vishnu, 60. And the Brahma can have only
50.
50 of those in only
55.
So every, like, you can see they have some qualities, some percentage of the great qualities that the Lord has, but not all. Only all is found in Lord Krishna. So yes, this is the process, worshipping. So after getting the instruction from the Lord, we get the instruction what the Lord said about him, and he talked about how everyone is in all these devatas are same and also different, of course, different. And we also know that he is the one who is the supreme enjoyer of all the sacrifices. Isn't it true?
Yes.
In the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says,
Bhaktaram Jagnata Pasham Sarvaloka Maheswaram Srihidam Sarvabhutanam Yatma Shantim Mamrichati.
Yatma Mam Shantim Richati. Yes. Bhoktanam Egatapsam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram Srihidam Sarvabhutanam Yatva Mam Shantim Richati. Yes, he says, I am the
Enjoyer.
Supreme enjoyer.
I'm the supreme enjoyer. I'm the enjoyer of all the sacrifices. Bhoktanam Yagya and Tapasam. For Sarvaloka Maheshwaram, I'm the proprietor of
All the universes.
all the universes, all the worlds. And Sridham Sarva Bhutanam.
I am the well-wisher of all living beings.
Yeah, I am the well-wisher for Gyatva Mam Shantim Richati.
And one who knows this, he renders service unto me.
And attains
And it ends
My
peace.
supreme abode.
yeah, peace.
Peace.
Peace. He attains
By
peace.
knowing this, he attains peace.
Yeah. Because without being connected to the Lord, you cannot get peace.
Peace.
You cannot get peace. Without peace, how can you have happiness?
Mm.
So that's what in Bhagavad Gita says in the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita. And and also in the 9th chapter, Lord Krishna says, Ahami sarva yajnanam bhokta cha prabhureva cha natumam abhijananti tatve natascha vantite. What does he say? Ahami
I am the enjoyer.
Ahami sarva yajnanam bhokta
Prabhureva cha.
natumam abhijananti tatve natascha vantite. I am the bhokta. Ahami sarva yajnanam. Not one yajna, but sarva yajna.
All the yajnas.
Ahami sarva yajnam bhokta cha prabhureva cha. I am the enjoyer and I am the master. And those who do not know this, then tatve natascha vantite. Ahami sarva yajnam bhokta cha prabhureva. Natumam abhijananti. Those who don't know me as such, tatve natascha vantite. They fall down. But what happens?
They fall down.
Fall down. How do they fall down?
Because they do not know who is the Supreme Person.
How do they fall down is written in this next verse. Ahami sarva yajnam bhokta cha prabhureva cha natumam abhijananti tatve natascha vantite. The next verse is Yanti deva vrata devan.
Pitrim yanti pitri brataha bhutani yanti bhuteja yanti madjagna pi mam.
Yes, Imam. So that's how they fall down, because they have to go to
Demigods.
those who worship the demigods and thinking that they are supreme, then they go to the demigods. Pitra Nyanti Putravata, Putra forefathers, worshippers of forefathers go to the forefathers.
Ancestors, yeah, they will go to the ancestors.
Bhutani Yanti Bhuteja, those people who
Worship the spirit.
Host. They will go to host.
they become good. And Yanti Madhyaji, no people. Those who worship me, they come to
Live with me.
Yeah, so that is the thing. So he is the one who is the supreme enjoyer of all the secrets. So his worship first and then others. So Prabhupada writes a very nice paper here. So they're talking about the prasadam. Prasadam should be first offered to whom?
Lord
Anything?
Krishna.
Lord
Lord
Krishna.
Krishna.
Lord Vishnu. And Lord Krishna Prabhupada gives an example. Examples also. Talks about the Jagannath temple, where prasadam is offered first to Jagannath and then to,
Then go to
yeah. And then also with the Lord talks about the temple in Bhuvaneshwar. Who is worshipped first there? The Lord Vishnu. And then after that, the prasad is given to Lord Shiva. So, and then that prasad becomes
Mahaprasad.
Mahaprasad, because that is being taken by the great devotee.
Supreme Lord. And
No,
great
when the Supreme Lord takes and then great Mahajanas or great devotees take it, then it becomes
Mahaprasad.
Mahaprasad, Mahaprasad. It becomes very, very potent. Isn't it true?
Yes.
But do you think the devotees would want to eat unoffered food?
No.
Would Brahma want to eat, or Lord Shiva would want to eat, big Vaishnavas? Do you think they would want to eat unoffered food?
No.
Yeah. So will they like being given some offering, like, you take first because you're the Supreme Lord. So no, they wouldn't like that. So the food should be offered to the Lord.
Lord Krishna.
Or Lord Vishnu. And then that same food, the bhog, becomes prasadam. And that prasadam then given to the devotees. Then they will be happy. This is the Vaishnava principle, Prabhupada said. This is the Vaishnava principle. This is the way Vaishnavas do. This is the, and Prabhupada also makes it clear that they don't deride any even ordinary living entities. And even the small ant and everything, everyone is given their proper respect according to their position. Isn't it true? Do you give, if the minister is given respect, then the minister is given respect according to his position. Do you give respect to the minister? So you are the prime minister.
Oh no.
No, minister is a minister, whatever
Minister,
respect.
yeah.
You'd give a line a respect. You don't say line, I give you the same respect as my Guru Maharaj or someone. Because if you go close to the line, then you will lose your life. So whatever respect they deserve, we give the respect, and accordingly we see them as all parts and parcels of the Lord, and whatever respect they deserve. Similarly, all the devatas, because they're engaged in looking after the affairs of this universe. So they are great people. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said one great thing, that one should Rinada Pisunichana, Tarora Piseshnana, Amanina
Manadena.
Kirtanya Sadar. Amanina Manadena means give respect to
others.
others. So if you are giving respect to ordinary people in this world, why should we not give respect to the other great devatas? We should give respect. There's no problem with that. It's all good. But we should know their position. Isn't it true? We should know who they are. And not that considering them to be as good as, or as in equal platform with the Lord. So that is our offense. You don't put the managing director of the company as same as another employee. No? Do you do that?
No.
No, there is difference. There's difference. So we have to give them respect accordingly, according to their position. And so the Prabhupada says that with the Lord in the center, in the relation to the Lord always, Krishna and Vishnu, and devotee who's highly elevated, sees the relationship to Krishna and everything. He does not see anything as being independent of Krishna, and that is his vision of oneness. Seeing everything in relation to Krishna, everything. Even Lord Krishna says, we can see in the Vibhuti Yoga chapter, 10th chapter, he says, what does he say? Rudranam Sankarosmi. I am out of the Rudras, I am Lord Shankar. He also says that Aditya Nam Aham Vishnu. Out of the Adityas, I am Vishnu. Adityas are all the devatas, and I am Vishnu. Out of all the devatas, I am Vishnu. So he says different, so we can see everything in connection with the Lord.
Krishna, yeah.
That is the perception of a devotee. And so here, what did we learn from this verse? What are some of the things that we learned from this verse?
We have to respect the others as per their position.
Yeah, correct. Very nice.
And
Thank you.
Lord Krishna is the Supreme Personality Godhead. Have to offer to
Yes.
him first. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Mataji. And anyone else? Thank you, Mataji.
First, we should offer to Lord Krishna, then distribute the prashadam to others.
Yes, very nice. Yes, thank you. What else did we learn from this verse?
The Lord has to be offered first, and whenever we make a sacrifice, we offer anything, we should offer to the Lord first, because he is the supreme enjoyer.
Yes, thank you, bro. Thank you, the supreme enjoyer. So we should be, as mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita. Anything else? Anyone else?
Daksha is the head of Prajapati. And about Maitra Muni, I learned something.
We discussed about Maitra Muni, who Maitra Muni was, his greatness, because the speaker is very important, isn't it true?
Yes.
Speaker, who's the speaker? We need to know. We don't hear from everyone. We need to hear from. So here, Maitreya, Vidur is hearing from a great personality, and Lord Krishna had said to Uddhava that Maitreya Muni will give the knowledge to Vidur. Even Vidur had asked Uddhava, isn't it true? He said, can you please give me what Lord Krishna has spoken? Speak to me. But Uddhava did not accept that. Uddhava said, who will give this to you?
Maitra Muni will give it.
Maitra Muni. Lord Krishna had given
because
this.
he's senior.
Maitra Muni is the senior, yeah.
Yeah, because of seniority that he was going to give. Yes, that's very nice, because it's very important here to know who the speaker is, because you don't hear from everyone and anyone. So he's hearing from a great personality. Vidur is hearing from a great personality. Of course, Vidur was not an ordinary person as well. Anything else?
Nanda Prabhu wants to say something.
Yes, bro.
So, yeah, the word praja is you mentioned includes all living entities, just not human beings, but including insects. And you give a very nice example of the weeds around the mango orchard. So everything is interconnected. So no one is like everybody has a purpose. So even the weed has a purpose. So praja means all includes all living entities. Very important.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Anything else that we learned from this verse?
Prabhuji, Parasha Muni is the guru of Maitreya Muni.
Yeah, very nice. Parashar Muni is the guru of Maitreya Muni. Correct. Very nice. Very nice. So yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Any questions or comments?
So just one clarification. When we hear that when the Lord is present and the spiritual master is also present, it is as an etiquette we should offer respect to the spiritual master first, then to Lord Vishnu. So here in this verse, it says we should offer the first worship to Lord. So how do we reconcile that?
The thing is, if the spiritual master is there and the Lord is there, what do you think the spiritual master will be doing at that time?
Yes. Offering to Lord offenses.
The spiritual master will be engaged in serving the Lord or not?
Yes, yes.
So if the spiritual master is engaged in serving the Lord, and if we serve the spiritual master, then that's all good, because we see there's so many examples, like in Chaitanya Leela we were just discussing recently. There was one dasi of Srinivas Acharya, Srinivas Thakur, Srivas Thakur, and this dasi, what she was doing is, her name was Dukhi. What was the name?
Dukhi.
And she was getting so much of water from the Ganga river continuously, and she was happily doing this service, and she was bringing that water and then giving it to all the devotees, and the devotees were
happy, sukhi,
doing the Abhishek for the Lord.
Abhishek of the Lord, yeah.
This is the Sapta Prahariya Leela. This Lord who performed this pastime in which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is being offered this Abhishek continuously, and he's showing his different forms to all his devotees. So this Dukhi was bringing all these things to give it to the devotees, and the devotees were using the water to save the Lord, doing the Abhishek. And the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was so pleased with this service. What did Chaitanya Mahaprabhu say to her?
Sukhi. Her name will be Sukhi.
For this year, Sukhi, her name should be from now Sukhi, not Dukhi, but Sukhi. So what was she doing? She was serving the Lord directly, or was serving the
Indirectly.
So was serving those who were serving the Lord. So if you are serving a great devotee who is serving the Lord, then the Lord is very pleased. If you are serving the spiritual master who is serving the Lord, then the Lord is very pleased. But there has to be a connection. The connection is through parampara. Because we serve our spiritual master serves his spiritual master, and then that spiritual master, the grand spiritual master, serves
his spiritual master.
And this way the worship is to whom?
Go to Lord Krishna.
Lord Krishna. This parampara.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if there is no connection through parampara, then you are basically worshipping that person. That's why it's important. Prabhuji?
Yeah, thank you, Prabhu.
Prabhu, I have one small question.
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah, just I heard that Jagannath Puri's first bhoga goes to Jagannath, Lord Jagannath, then it goes to Bimala Mata.
Yeah.
Then it distribute.
Yeah, correct. That's
right?
correct.
Okay.
Correct. That's correct. Yeah. Bimala, and also that's why Bimala's Kripa was received by Bhakti Vinod Thakur. You know that? How the Kripa was received by Bimala Devi?
Son, he kept
the son
name
was
is Bhaktivedanta Saraswati. His name was Bimala. Yeah, Bimala Prasad.
Yeah, Prasad means?
Means
Mercy.
Prasad means mercy.
Yeah, so he got a son because of mercy of
Bimala
Devi. And then that's why his name was Bimala Prasad, and then Bimala Prasad became known as
Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur.
So yes, correct. Yeah, thank you. I think the devotees need to go to work. Sorry, I'm just delaying it. Sorry. Thank you so much. Thank you. Shri Radha Girdhari Bhagwan.
Ki Jai.
Madhav Govind Prabhu ki jai.
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 Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Oh, Lord.
Hari Hari Bol.
Thank you, Prabhu. Very Pranam. All glories to you.
Yeah, all glories to all the devotees. And Nalinikan Prabhu, thank you so much for joining. Sachi Prabhu, and also Kirita Mataji and Haridev Prabhu, and also Atmavan Das Prabhu, and also Sita Nandini Mataji, and Lodi Prabhu. And Ashika Mataji, Avas Prabhu,
Hare Krishna Prabhu,
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam.
Thank you so much, all the devotees. And KKD, I'm not sure, the name is not there. And also Nanduraj Prabhu, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to speak, on this.
You're welcome, Prabhu. You're more than welcome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for giving
Very
me.
nice. Very nice.
Yes. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Okay, then we'll Pranam.
Prabhu's Kripa Sindhu Bhavitya Patitana Pavani Bhava Vaishnava Bhakta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai.
Yeah.